Okay, so this is our ninth exercise. So this one is on harmonic analysis of a string, that is guitar string. So here he has given a guitar string, and it is under the initial tension or pre-tension. You can say, see if you see the figure here. This is the guitar string, which is fixed between these two ends. Of course, he has given the length of the string. This total length as 710 mm, and the diameter of the string wire as 0.254 mm, and this string is stretched between these two supports. So and is subjected to some force F1. F1 he has given it as some 84 newtons.
84 Newton.
Yes. So then, so under this since it is, because the tension force is applied here, the string is in tension now. So now the string is touched here with a force F2, which is 1 Newton in a vertical direction. So then if you apply that force and leave it, how the behavior of the string. So that means we need to study that. What is the response of the string? So that is nothing but the dynamic response actually. So since here this force F2 he has mentioned, we are talking about harmonic analysis like what we discussed or what we studied in our vibration course. If this force is a harmonic force, then we'll call this dynamic response as a harmonic response. So then he asked us treat this applied force F2 as a harmonic force. So therefore we want to see what is the response. That is nothing but the harmonic response of the string. So this is actually the theoretical background for this particular problem. But if you want to solve this problem using ANSYS, so what you need to do is you need to carry out 3 different types of analysis. Directly we won't go for harmonic analysis. Of course, in some problems directly you can do the harmonic analysis also, but in most of the cases this harmonic analysis is linked with modal analysis. Why modal? It is linked to the modal analysis. So I think we are already solved one problem using this modal analysis. In the previous problem, we used the modal analysis for finding out the natural frequencies of automobile suspension system, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means this modal analysis is used to find out what are the natural frequencies of the system. Of course, we done it for automobile. So for anything, suppose if I do the modal analysis for this guitar string, so it will give me the what are the natural frequencies of this string. So then in harmonic analysis, the important thing is when this frequency of this excitation, here our exciting force is F2. If the frequency of this exciting force matches with the frequencies of the natural frequencies of this guitar string, then there may be a resonant condition. So there the response is going to be very large. So that's what we need to do the analysis. So that's why we need to carry out the modal analysis also. But for that we require, why we are carrying out, the purpose is the same thing. So what are the natural, I want to know what are the natural frequencies for this. And also here the modal analysis also, here it is not a simply free modal analysis. See here, you can see there is a force is applied here. So therefore it is what we can call it as a forced vibration analysis. Under this force F, what are the natural frequencies of the system? Then we will go for the harmonic analysis. So therefore what I need to do is to carry out this forced frequencies of the system string. First we'll run the static analysis. So since in modal analysis I cannot use this condition, application of force is not available in the software. So therefore what I do is first I'll do the static analysis and I'll calculate the forces from the static analysis and I'll transfer those forces to the modal analysis. Then I'll carry out the modal analysis and I'll see what are the natural frequencies. Once I got the natural frequencies, I'll use that information of natural frequencies to carry out this harmonic response analysis. Okay, so that means we need to solve the problem in 3 steps or 3 stages, you can say. First static analysis, then modal analysis, and then harmonic analysis. So that's what I written here also. In order to perform harmonic analysis, static and modal analysis are first performed. So first we'll carry out static and modal analysis, then we'll use the information of these two to carry out the harmonic analysis. Okay, right. To do that, first we need to create what is the FE model. First, we need to create the FE model for the string, whether it is static analysis or model analysis or harmonic analysis. First, we need to create the FE model. So here, to do that, we'll use this link 180 element to model or to select this one or this convert the geometry of the string into a FE model. We'll use the element type as a link 180. We already used this element in first problem itself. So there where we solve the truss problem, we already used this element. So that means we know the applications of this element. So where you can use it, all those things we already discussed. So then for this string, he has given the diameter here, but we want software don't take diameter. So we need to input the area value. So from this D, we can calculate the area. It is not a difficult thing. Of course, length is given. So and also density is given. In model analysis, we require density. In static analysis, we require Young's modulus. Young's modulus is also given. Poisson ratio is not given. We'll take it as 0. So then again, the two forces F1 and F2 is also given. Okay. So then what we do is we need to create a here. So again, there are two things. How we can convert a geometry into finite model. And that means how we can create a FE model. There are two ways. One is direct creation. The another one is the indirect creation. So these two kinds of the creation of FE model we already discussed in the previous problems. So direct creation means directly I'll create the nodes, and then from the nodes I'll create the elements. That is what we call it as a direct creation of FE model. Indirect means first I'll create the geometry, then I'll mesh the geometry so that geometry will be converted into the FE model. So that is indirect. That means in indirect you need to create the geometry, then from that you need to create the mesh. Whereas in direct case, directly I'll create nodes and elements. So here for this particular problem, we'll use the direct approach. So that means since it is a line, so I can easily create the nodes and elements here. So I'll go for the direct approach. Of course, you can use indirect approach also, but my intention of selecting direct approach is you can explore some more features of the software. How we can to learn some more features of the software. So you can use indirect also. First, you create a line of 710 mm. Then you mesh that, you will get the same thing. But only thing is, my intention is you learn the another feature of the software. To learn the another feature, I selected the direct approach. Okay? Right. So and one more thing what we do is, so here the unit should be consistent. So that should be very important whenever you solve what type of problem it may be. So you need to make sure that all your units should be consistent. So rho is given in kg per meter cube, means length is in meters here. Okay, Young's modulus is GPA means you can write it as 190 into 10 power 9 Newton per meter square. So force, of course, force is in newtons, no need to change anything. But here this is 1, C is equal to 190. That means where this force is applied. C is nothing but the distance between point of application of this load to the left hand. So that is given in mm. And even the diameter length is also given in mm. So therefore, I have to fix whether I'll go for mm unit or meter unit. So if I fix mm unit, then I need to change this density into kg per mm cube. Or else, if I want to stick to the meters, then I need to convert this mm length and area and this C into meters. Right? So that is the important point we need to remember. Of course, what we do is for this, we'll stick to this density as 7920 kg per meter cube. So I'll use only length dimension and area and this C distance. So in terms of meter, we need to convert these three into meters. Okay? Right. So now, so to do that, what we'll do is, so generally the approach here, what I have to do is, this is the length which is 710 mm. So which is nothing but if I convert that one into meters, it is going to be 0.71 meters. So first I'll create one node here and I'll create the another node here. So because I know what is the coordinates for this node. This coordinate for this node is 0, 0. I will take the origin at this location. I take it as 0. At this location, that is the end of the string, which is nothing but 0.71 meters, comma 0. So I can create these two. So then after that, what I'll do is I'll use the feature of the software so that if I know two nodes, and if I want to create the number of nodes between those two nodes, that means I want to create the remaining nodes here, I can use an option called fill between the nodes. So using that option, I can create any number of nodes between these two nodes. Just by specifying how many number I require, it automatically will create the nodes. So we'll use that option now for this exercise. Okay, so once I done that, then we know link element, link 180 is consists of two nodes only. So to define an element, I require two nodes. 1 minute. Hello, sir. Okay. Maybe ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసి ఉంటుంది, మిగతా వాళ్ళనే అదే ఓకే చూస్తుంది. Right, so okay, so we will create a first one element, then we'll use the copy option to create all other elements also. That I will show it to you. So once you've done that, then what you need to do is you need to first carry out the static analysis just by applying this force, and then later we'll carry out modal analysis and then also harmonic analysis also. So only thing is, so what is the frequency range for this applied force? That means to carry out this harmonic response analysis, what is the frequency range you need to select. So that frequency range will depends upon what are the natural frequencies of the system. That's why we need to carry out the modal analysis before going for this harmonic analysis. So we'll decide that range based on the harmonic response, modal response of the system. So then we'll carry out the harmonic analysis. From that you can find what is the response of the system also. Okay, so right now I'll go to the software and I'll show you how to do that. So for time being, so we required the dimensions. I required area also. So but here he has given in diameter is given. So if I want to calculate the area, because the software will take only area, it won't take diameter, so I need to calculate the area. So we know circular cross section, the area is 5/4 d square. So 0.254, which is given in mm. So if I convert that one into meters, it comes out as maybe 0.254 divided by 1000. If I do that, so this is going to be the diameter of the string in meters. Then I will square it. Then I will multiply this one by pi. So it comes out as 2.0268 into e minus 7. So we'll note down this value. So we're defining in the software, we require this value. So just I'll minimize this. Then I'll open the software.
I was note down that value, sir.
Calculate చేయమ్మా, నోట్ చేసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఏంది? 5/4 d square వేస్తే
ఎస్ సార్ ఇదే సార్.
నోట్ చేసాలంటే నోట్ చేయి. ఓకే, ఓపెన్ ఇట్. చూడు, నోట్ చేయాలి. నోట్ చేసావా? ఓకే గుడ్. సో అయితే నువ్వు మామూలుగా ఊకి ఇన్ని వీడియోస్ ఫాలో అవడం తప్పితే నువ్వేం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయట్లేదు కదా?
లేదు సార్, సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లేదు సార్.
స్టూడెంట్ వర్షన్ ఉంది కదా ఆన్లైన్లో, స్టూడెంట్ వర్షన్ ట్రై చేసావు నువ్వు? ఈ క్రాక్డ్ వర్షన్ కాబట్టి.
అవును సార్, ట్రై చేసా సార్, డౌన్లోడ్ అవ్వట్లేదు సార్.
డౌన్లోడ్ అవ్వట్లేదు?
అవును సార్, ఆటో క్యాడ్ ట్రై చేశాను, ఇప్పుడు యాన్సిస్ కూడా ట్రై చేశా సార్.
ఓకే,
డౌన్లోడ్ అవ్వట్లేదు సార్.
అయితే నెక్స్ట్ సండే బీటెక్ వాళ్ళకి ఉంది, నాకు సిమ్యులేషన్ ల్యాబ్ ఉంది బీటెక్ వాళ్ళకి.
ఓకే సార్.
ఆ రోజు ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ కదా, వాళ్ళ స్టూడెంట్స్కి నేను వాళ్ళు అడిగితే, ఇన్ కేసు అడిగితే నేను చూపిస్తాను ఎట్లా చేయాలనేది, నేను చూపిస్తాను వాళ్ళకి. మేబీ నేను ట్రై చేయాలి, మేబీ ఈ ట్రైలో ట్రై చేసిన తర్వాత చూస్తాను స్టూడెంట్ వర్షన్ ఎట్లా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలనేది.
ఓకే సార్.
నీవు వీలుంటే ఆ రోజు క్లాస్లో జాయిన్ అయితే చూడవచ్చు నువ్వు ఎట్లా
ఓకే
ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అనేది.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే.
ఓకే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది, విల్ గో ఫార్వర్డ్.
ఓకే.
సో ఇది ఓపెన్ చేశాను నేను. అసలు వర్క్ చేయలేదు కదా నువ్వు ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మీద ఎప్పుడు?
లేదు సార్.
ఈ యాన్సిస్ వర్క్ బెంచ్ ఇది కూడా ఏం ఐడియా లేదు నీకు అసలు?
ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్లో ఒక క్లాస్ జరిగింది సార్.
ఏంటది?
హెల్ప్ యూస్ చేసుకొని ఎట్లా తీసుకోవాలి ఏంటి అని చూపించారు సార్.
అది కాదమ్మా, అది దీంట్లోనే ఏపీడిఎల్లోనే నువ్వు చేసింది అది.
ఎస్ సార్.
వర్క్ బెంచ్ గురించి నేను అనేది. ఇప్పుడు నేను బై మిస్టేక్ వేరే ఇది ఓపెన్ చేసే కదా, దీన్ని వర్క్ బెంచ్ అంటారు. ఇది
లేదు సార్, ఇదైతే చేయలేదు.
అదే మేబీ లాస్ట్ టైం అంతకుముందు కొంతమంది మీకంటే ముందు బ్యాచ్ వాళ్ళకి దాంట్లో కూడా 1-2 చూపించారు. అంటే సేమ్ ప్రాబ్లం. ఇప్పుడు ఈ హార్మోనిక్ అనాలిసిస్ ఆఫ్ గిటార్ స్ట్రింగ్ ఉంది కదా, దీంట్లో సాల్వ్ చేయొచ్చు, మనం దాంట్లో కూడా సాల్వ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో దాంట్లో ఇప్పుడు డయామీటర్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసాం కదా, సారీ డయామీటర్ ఏరియా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసాం కదా డీతో. సో దాంట్లో డైరెక్ట్గా డి తీసుకుంటుంది, దాంట్లో డైరెక్ట్గా డి వాల్యూ ఏంటి డైరెక్ట్ ఇచ్చేయచ్చు దాంట్లో మనం. ప్లస్ అది కొంచెం యూజర్ ఫ్రెండ్లీగా ఉంటుంది. కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే నీకు ఇదే ఫస్ట్ నుంచి ఇదే కదా మనం చూసింది, అది చూడలేదు కదా, అందుకని ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ మొత్తం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలంటే కొంచెం కష్టంగా ఉంటుంది. అది కూడా కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుందని చెప్పేసి దీంట్లోనే చేద్దాం అయితే. మేబీ వీలైతే ట్రై చేసుకో, రేపు నీకు ఏమైనా సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఎంటెక్ ప్రాజెక్ట్లు ఏమైనా చేయాలనుకుంటే ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. ఓకే, సో రైట్, సో విల్ స్టార్ట్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. First what we'll do is we'll add that element first. So add element. Okay, in the add, what we need to do is we need to select this link 180. Click OK. Okay, then material properties, material models. Then I'll go for only structural, linear, elastic, isotropic. So here what is the Young's modulus given to us?
190 sir.
190 GPa, right?
Yes sir, 190 GPa.
So 190. So you need to enter here 190 P9. So if you convert GPa into pascals, it is 10⁴. Click OK. And also density is also given, right? Density also will enter here. So here you have option, density option is there, and density given it as
7920.
7920, yeah? Okay, right. 7920. This is directly in meters, kg per meter cube, so no need to convert. As it is, you take that value. Click OK. Right? So that is material properties only. Those two values you need to give. Then I need to go for sections. Then in sections, he has given section details for all different types of elements, beam, shell, joints, all these things. But our element is link, so you need to select a link. Then click add. So here if you want to give some ID, you can give it, or else you can leave that blank also, no issue with that. So now here also section name also, if you want, you can leave it that blank, or I'll give something guitar area, something like this. But there is a limitation for a number of letters here. Let us say something like this. So then section data, see here, you can see here it is asking for link area. So what is the link area? Just now we calculate it now. 2.0268 E minus 7.
Right? Yes, sir.
So that value I'll enter here. 2.0268 E minus
7.
Minus 7. Okay. So we enter the area and leave it. Okay. Right. So that means whatever attributes are, whatever the definitions required to create those elements, we already defined. So we define the element type. we define the middle properties, and also we define the section properties. So then we'll go for the creation of nodes first, then we'll go for creation of
Yes.
elements. So to create the nodes, what you need to do is go for create, then you have option nodes. In that, you need to use this active coordinate system. So first node and last node only. I will select first node and last node. So first node, I'll give it as node number 1, automatic number it will take. If I give the number here, it will take 1, or else if I leave that blank also, it will take it as 1. So its coordinates are 0, 0, 0. So if you leave these fields as blank, defaultly it will take 0. No need to enter 0 also. Of course, if you enter also, no issue. So this is the first one. Click apply. So first one is created. Then second one, what I'll do is, let us say I want to divide that one into 30 elements. Total length of the string is 710 mm he has given. I want to divide that one into 30 elements. So therefore, for 30 elements, I require 31 nodes. So
Yes, sir.
that's why I'll give the last node number as 31 here. Okay, so then
Okay, sir.
the nodal coordinate is 0.71, right? What is the
Yes,
length
sir.
of the string? Length of
Yes,
the
sir.
string?
0.71.
710 mm is converted into meters, it comes out as 0.71. These two you can zeros only, no need to input those values. Click OK. See, year 1 and year 31 is created. So you can go here list. Under list also you can go for nodes. You can check it also whether you created correctly or not. You can verify this. So I created node 1 at 0, 0, 0, node 31 at 0.71, 0 and 0. Okay. So
Okay,
two
sir.
nodes is created. Then what I want to do here is I want to fill this gap between 1 and 31 with the 30 number of nodes. So for that, here you have option fill between nodes. NDS means it is nodes only. Fill between nodes. Click on this. So a dialog box is opened here. So what it is asking, is it visible to you here? This message?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bottom it is there. Pick or enter beginning and ending nodes to fill. So that means you need to pick what is the starting node and what is the ending node. So that means I want to fill between these two nodes. So therefore I need to select these two, then click OK. So then a dialog box is created asking for create node between two nodes. So those two nodes are 1 and 31. So number of nodes to be filled. So in between, how many number of nodes to be filled? 29. So out of 31, 1 and 31 is already created. So I want to create additional. I want to fill by 29. So remaining things, everything is okay. So just we need to click OK. So it will create or it will fill the nodes. It will create those 29 nodes between this 1 and 31. Okay. So that means we already created the required nodes now. Then we need to go for element creation. So for element creation, for all these elements, the properties are same. Area is same because these all nodes are corresponding to only one particular string. So for that, area is same. Area is uniform. That means diameter is uniform. Area is same. Material is also same. So no need to change the attribute for element to element. So these things are same. So no need to modify. Whatever default things are there, you can use those things. So then first what I'll do is I'll create element between node 1 and node 2. So for that what I need to do is elements go auto numbered through nodes. Just you select this one and this one. Node 1 and node 2. See, you clearly observe here. So I'll reset it and do it. So if I select node 1 here, see it is displaying the node number you selected as 1. Then if I select 2 here, its number is 2. How many total count is nothing but total number of nodes you selected. Those are 2.
2.
Okay, if you select more than 2, so it won't create element because that element will require 2 inputs only, 2 nodes inputs. If you give more than that, it won't take. Even if you give less than that also, it won't create the element. So you have to select exactly 2. Then click OK. So now you can see line here. So element is created here. Okay, so this is the element. So Okay, I'll go for plot elements. See here, one element is created. So in between, you don't have any other thing. So you have only one element. So now I'll go for multiplots. I'll go for fit here. So now one element is there. So now I need to create these type of elements between the node number 2 to 31 next. So to do that, what I have to do is I'll go for copy. Because everything is same, all the properties are same, then only I can use the copy. If properties are different, I cannot do copy. So because here all the things are same, I'll go for copy. In the copy, what you need to do is you need to select elements, you need to go for auto number, then you have to select, see it is asking for pick or enter element to be copied. So that means I need to pick this element, which is element number 1. Then click OK. So then it is asking for total number of copies. So including original. So that means you need to include this one also. While giving the number here, you need to count this one also. So how many number of elements we required? Total 30 only. So I need to enter 30. So node increment will be 1. So why I am giving 1? So first element is created between 1 and 2. So the increment is 2. 1 increment is 1. Similarly, second element will be created between 2 and 3. So again, increment is 1. So like that, we need to identify the node number increment. So for this case, it is 1. So that is 1 only. Then simply click OK. See now all the elements are created here. Okay. You go now here. You can list the elements. It will show you all those 30 elements. See here, element number is starting 1 to 30. 30 elements will be there for you. Okay, so what type of nodes are also? So between 1 and 2, nodes 1 and 2 here you can see node 1 and 2, element 1 is created. Between 2 and 3, node 2. So like that, it will create all the elements. Okay, so once you created this, your FE model is over now. Then first we'll carry out the static analysis, then we'll go for model analysis, then we'll go for harmonic analysis. Okay, so then to do that, what I need to do is I need to go for analysis type, new analysis. Of course, default it is static only. So defaultly it will be selected as static. If you want to change it to other, you need to change. Otherwise, no need to change if it is static analysis. Okay. Then what we need to do is, since we want to transfer this loads to the next model analysis, so what I need to do is I need to use this option, analysis options I need to use.
Okay.
That analysis options won't come here. So that will be come under solution control. So I'll show you that later. So then next what I need to do is I need to apply the constraints and loads. So what are the constraints is given here? We need to apply those loads and constraints here. This end is fixed. You can see here. This end is fixed, and here you have a roller support, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have to apply a fixed support here. I need to apply a roller support here. Then I need to apply this force F1 also. F1 is 84 newtons. So I'll apply these three now. So I'll go for define loads, apply structural displacement on nodes. First I'll select this leftmost node. Then I'll fix it. So that means I need to apply all degrees of freedom is constraint. Okay. So it is fixed now. Now here I need to apply a vertical roller support. So click again the same thing, apply. Okay, here what I need to do is roller support means in y direction it is constraint. So I need to select UI. Of course, I can select UZ also because it is free. It is only the string is moving or responding only plane. Z displacement I can simply eliminate that also. Click OK. So even though you are applying those two, so you can see in this view you can see it is both are shown. UI and UZ both are zeros.
Okay.
Right. So then we need to apply a force here. What is that force now? Okay. So I'll go for next
84 Newton.
Force on the node and even in this node only. So it is okay. In which direction it is in x direction only. So the force is x. So here I need to apply 84. Okay. So like this, I need to do this. So then what I'll do is I'll go for solution. Then in the analysis type, Of course, already static is we already selected. We'll keep it as same. Then in the solution controls, you need to use this option, calculate pre-stress effect. That is important. Why? Because we want to transfer all these loads to the next analysis. We need to use this option. Otherwise, if you don't want, then no need to use it. So only if you want to transfer it, you need to use this. And also here under results file, you need to select an option called write every step. That means the software while solving the problem, what it will do is it will calculate the results at a given number of load steps. And also if you want to get those results as a printout, you need to use this every sub step. Or else if you want to only use the result at the end, so in that case we'll use the last step, but you can use that option also. Here write only, don't write any step. That means it won't write also if you don't want anything. Or write last step only means it will write the result of last sub step only. But what we'll do is we'll use every sub step, whatever may be the number of sub steps, we'll ask the software to write the results into the results file. Then click OK. So then solve it. So it will solve very quickly because it is a simple problem only. It won't take much time. So solution is done. You can see that window, the base, it is solved. So if you want, you can see what is the displacements in this also. So plot displacement, I can go for how much displacement is there in x direction. You can see that value in the contour plot. See like this, it is deformed something like this. So but our intention is not static analysis. Only we are using the static analysis to transfer the loads to the next analysis, which is a analysis. Okay. So anyway, if you want to see the results, you can see like this. But these are not important for us. Okay, right. So then what I'll do is next we'll move on to the next type of analysis, which is model analysis.
Model analysis.
For that, before going to that, what you need to do is this analysis completed. So to say that, you just click on this finish. Otherwise, without clicking this finish, if you go for immediately model analysis, it will give you some warning message. So of course, you can ignore that warning. You can go beyond. But only thing is to avoid that, just you need to click then the finish. Then again, what I'll do is I'll go for the solution. Then I'll define my analysis as now model analysis. Okay. Then in the analysis options, just now we have used that pre-stress effect we on there, right? In the static analysis. So to include those pre-stress effects, you need to click this term as S, on. On means yes. No means it is off. So then how many number of frequencies you require? So those frequencies will be entered here. Let us say I want 4. Or you can have any number because you have 30 here. You have 30 nodes means around 30 into 2, around 60 degrees of freedom is there for the system. But I don't want all those 60 frequencies. I want only 4. I'll enter 4. Or else I want 6. I'll enter 6. Like that, as per our requirement, we'll enter the number of modes we required or number of frequencies required for us. And also next here you have a mode extraction method is there. That means this is a solution technique. We are not discussed in our vibration course. There we discussed some amount but not detail. So these methods are available to compute the model frequencies using these different types of methods. So whatever default is there, we'll keep that one as a default. Only thing is here you need to add on this pre-stress effects include, and also you need to enter how many number of modes you want. That we had taken it as 4. I entered it as 4. Then click OK. So then it is asking for the shifting of the frequency, all these things. We don't want this. Whatever values are there, we will keep it as default. Then click OK. Then go for solution. Then solve. So it will also won't take much time because it is a simple problem only. Maximum 30 nodes are there. It will solve very easily. So once you done it, this message will be displayed to you. Solution is done. Then close this and close this. So now I want the results of this model analysis. Why I want the result of this model analysis means between those two frequencies, I will identify what is the range required for the harmonic analysis. So now to see the frequencies like what we discussed in the previous case, the frequencies are listed in the output window. See, you can see here. Okay, 161, 161, 332, 332. So same number is repeating twice here, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means we committed one mistake. So what is that means? That UZ is there now. That UZ should be constrained. So I don't want a Z direction displacement everywhere. So then I'll constrain that now. Okay, what I'll do is structural displacements on nodes. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll go back to the structural analysis. So, or else what you can do, one more thing, whatever you can do here it is. Okay, anyway, I'll go for the static analysis again. So, I'll select. See, you can see now I'm shifting that without clicking that finish button. I'm shifting this. You can see this warning message, right?
Yes, sir.
Like I said, you avoid this. You need to do like that. So you need to click finish. Then you can go for analysis type now. I'll change it to static analysis. Then here I need to click this on. Then I need to constrain that also displacement on nodes. I'll pick all the nodes. I don't want to use a degree of freedom for all the nodes. I'll click OK. So obviously UZ is going to be fixed for this. Now I'll solve this current load step. Okay, done. Then I'll finish it. I'll go for now model analysis, new analysis, which is my model analysis. Then under analysis options, so these things will be there. You need to keep this on. Then take this one as default. Then solve. Go for current LS. So now it is quickly very fast when compared to the previous one because we arrested some of the degrees of freedom now. Now you open your output window. See now, you can see now we avoided that repeated natural frequencies now. 161, 322,
322, 485,
and 649, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means so your frequency range is, so if you consider only these 4 frequencies, the range of the frequencies, the lowest frequency is 161, highest frequency is 650, close to 650, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore I can select the harmonic range is 0 to 1000. So within that the 0 to 1000, your all 4 natural frequencies are there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so using that I can I can carry out the model analysis now. So next I'll go for the model analysis. For that, first I'll use this finish option. Then I'll go for again solution, analysis type, new analysis. Now I need to select my new analysis as harmonic analysis. Okay, so then under analysis options, what you need to do is, so what type of solution method, again like I shown to you earlier, in model analysis you have different methods are there like this. Here also different methods are there. So we'll use mode superposition method. This is one type of method to solve the harmonic analysis. I'll use amplitude and phase. That means whatever the output I want. So in vibrations generally we look at what is the amplitude. That means the maximum values only we'll look at. That amplitude will decide whether the system is going to fail or not. So instead of entire real and imaginary parts, I'll take only amplitude and phase values. How I want to see those things. So then I'll take this one as amplitude and phase. Then I'll click OK. So these things, whatever there, you can take them as it is. No need to enter anything here.
Okay, sir.
So then I'll go for to define that frequency range. So I need to go for this load step options. Then click on time and frequency. Here you can see. So here it is asking for what is your harmonic frequency range. So like I said, this harmonic frequency range is decided based on what are the model frequencies. So we've seen least is 160 means it will start from 0. Then highest we got it as 650. So therefore I'll change that range to, let us say, if you want you can take 1000, or if you want you can take 2000 also, no problem. And also within this range 0 to 1000, how many number of load steps you want to get it here. So why it is asking for this means if I plot the, if you recall our vibration course fundamentals, I'll zoom it here. So if I draw the response, harmonic response for any system, how it will be? So this is something, if you draw the plot, it will going to be something like this, right? If you remember it. So this line is going to be frequency range over omega by omega n, and this is the this column is the magnification factor, something like this. So now here at r is equal to 1, so omega by omega 1, so your natural frequency coincides the exciting frequency, it is going to be a resonance condition, or your amplitude is going to be peak value corresponding to this, provided if you have a damping. If there is no damping, here this value is going to be infinity. So this car will go to infinity like this, and this will come like this from infinity like this. So that means your harmonic frequency range, whatever range you want to calculate, that depends upon R. So that means W by Wn. So you have to specify what is this range. So whether it is, okay, we'll take 0 to 1000 we'll take. So if you want to get a smooth curve here, so the range number of substeps you need to, suppose 0 to 1000, I give the substeps is only 5. So that means what it will do is, it will calculate the response at 0, then 200, then 400, then 600, then 800, and then 1000. So only it will calculate response at only at 5 frequencies. Means if you plot the curve between those 5 points, that means I have one point here, another point is here, another point is here, and here. So you may get a straight line, something like this. So that means your accuracy of the solution is not good. So that means, so if I get the response something like this instead of like this, it is not correct. So therefore, if you increase the number of substeps, your solution accuracy will also increase. But one more thing, at the same time, what you need to remember is, if you increase the number of substeps, your solution time will also increase. So therefore, to make a compromise between those two, so I want an optimal solution time, and at the same time, I don't want to deviate from the solution accuracy. So therefore, based on that, you need to select here the number of steps. So here what I'll do is, I'll use some 250 number of substeps. Then I'll apply the load as a stepped load here. I'll click OK. So these are the settings I need to apply for the harmonic analysis. Then what I need to do is, I need to apply that load, whatever load F2 is there, I need to apply in the harmonic force only. But whatever force I applied here at this end, that I need to remove it. So for that, I'll go for define loads, apply, sorry, not apply, first I'll delete the load, delete structural force on nodes. I'll select this last node where I applied the force. I'll apply the force in the x direction, so I'll delete that in that direction only. So this force is deleted. Next, I need to apply the force F2, which is 1 Newton, which is applied at a location of
distance
165 mm from the left one. Node number 1. We numbered this one as 1. From node number 1, it is 165. So now I need to select node. I want what is the node at this 165 mm location. So for that, what I do is, I'll go for here list nodes. I will arrange the nodes in the ascending order by its x coordinate. See, I can list it now here. I want to see that 165 where it is. See, you can see here 0.165, right? Because we are taking it in meters, so it is 0.165 means its number is 8. So therefore, I need to apply that force to node 8. So now I know where I can apply the force. So then, using this information, I'll go for apply force on nodes. So no need to select pick here directly, because I know the number here. I'll enter that number here, 8. Then click OK. Now the force is in which direction? Y direction. So I have to select Y. What is the magnitude? -1, because it is acting in the downward direction. I need to -1.
Okay.
Click OK. See, now at that particular node, it is applying that force. Okay? So that's it. So then I need to solve this again. So simple, it's solved. It won't take much time, it's solved it. So if you increase the number of sub-steps, then also you can see. So now earlier we are given it as 250, right? So now I'll increase this one to, let us say, 750. Even for 750 also, because here number of nodes are small, it won't take much time. It will solve very quickly only. See, it is done. Okay, right. So we have find out this. So we computed the solution. Now what he asked in this?
Determine harmonic response analysis is performed.
So here, since we are interested in the amplitudes only, so generally the string is fixed between these two. If I touch in the vertical direction, where should be the maximum displacement? Exactly at the center, there will be the maximum displacement, right?
Yes, sir.
Because these two ends are constrained, only at this end there will be, at the center only there is a maximum displacement. Again, now to find the displacement at the center, I want to know what is the node number at the center. So again, for that, what you need to do here, you go for list nodes, same sort by x coordinate. So center means 0.71 divided by 2. So it comes out as 0.355, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, the center node is node number 16.
Yes, sir.
So now I want to see what is the response of node 16 here. So for that, here we want to use okay, because it is a dynamic analysis and dynamic analysis, which is the result displacement is going to change with respect to time. I cannot use this general post processor. I have to go for next one, time history post processor, means the value of that variable is changing with respect to time. So I'll select this time history post processor. Then a dialog box will open here. Then it will ask you to calculate, to add whatever variable you want. You can add it here. It will come out here. To add any variable here, you need to click here. Plus sign is there. Click. So if you put your cursor on that, it will show you add data. Click on this. Then what you want is, I want to know what is the displacement in y direction, because the string is disturbed in the y direction. I want to find out what is the y displacement. Click OK. Then at what node you want, here it is asking for node for the data. So we know we already identified that node. Node number is 16, which is located at the center of the string. So I'll enter that 16 here, then click OK. So now the data comes out here. So earlier this is not there, only time is there. Now it is added here. So now you got this. So next what I have to do is, simply I want to plot the response. What I have to do is, simply I have to click on this graph data button. See, now we can, okay. See here, the response is coming out something like this. Okay. So whatever frequency range you are taking, you have taken the frequency range as something 2000, but it is showing the curve between 0 minus 150 also it is taken. Okay. From 150 to 650 only it is showing the values, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means within that range only, because the frequencies are lies between only 160 to 650, it is, you have a curve between those two things. Okay. So you get a frequency something like this. If you want to get this one, so you can see that at what frequency, what is the amplitude. You can see at 161, this is the amplitude. At 322, this is the amplitude. At 485, this is the amplitude. Like that, it is showing that. So, but here, what I think is, the curve is not that much smooth here. If you increase the number of load steps, the curve is going to be improved. So that with the number of sub steps, increase number of sub steps, I already done that earlier one. So I'll show you that how you will get the curve. Okay, I'll analysis lab. Okay, maybe I haven't saved that. Okay, let us see. Okay, it is not available, I think. Anyway, you will get a curve like that. If you increase the number of load steps, you will get a further smooth curve. So like I shown, like I explained to you also, you have to get the smooth car, you need to increase the load steps. So instead of 750, if I increase further, then you'll get a smooth car.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So I think this is what I want to explain. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyway, I'll upload the recorded video also.
Okay, sir.
So then if you want, you can practice it also.
Okay.
Okay, first I'll stop the recording.